Nice to meet you, Fred. Thank you very much for being here.
No problem.
Can you tell us a little bit about your time in the military, please?
I joined when I was 22, and I joined the same regiment as my younger brother in the Royal Armoured Corps, which was a Queen's Own Hussars, and then I stayed there for 7.5 years.
Okay, so you've had several sort of careers, if you like, since your military career?
Three, I would say.
Okay.
So I was a bus driver, then I worked for B Sky B for a long time, sort of 20 years, 22 or 3 years, and then I got made redundant from then, and now I'm in my new job.
Oh, brilliant. And was that was through the Forces Employment Charity?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Awesome. So, I mean, what sort of advice did your careers advisor give you when you registered with the charity? What sort of advice did your careers advisor give you?
I really didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
Like I said, the last job I applied for, I did on a piece of paper with a pen and a postage stamp and an envelope. So I really didn't know how to go about it. So I was pointed in the right direction, courses I needed to do or things I needed to look at to make myself aware of what employers expect these days.
Okay. So it's sort of an all-round kind of employment support,
yeah, 100%.
essentially.
And I was... I was kind of an empty vessel, I suppose, because I really didn't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of the channels open.
Okay.
And I was pointed in the right direction.
So it was kind of like a sort of raising your awareness, like an education piece, really.
Yeah,
about
100%
what
an
was
education
available.
piece. And I'd sit on the phone to my advisor in the morning. I'd be like, oh, right, we'll get this out of the way. But then once I got into the conversation, it was a case of, oh, right, and there's another nugget I didn't know, and there's another nugget I didn't know.
So Fred, can you tell us a little bit about who you work for now and what it is that you do? It'd be really interesting to hear about the role that you do now.
Yeah, so I work for, I think it's called Serco Defence. In fact, I know it's called Serco Defence. And I work in the armoury at RAF Prize Norton. So that encapsulates things like issuing weapons, accounting for weapons, and all the duties that go with that.
So does that have any sort of relation to, when you were serving in the Armoured Corps? Did you use any of those sort of weapons there?
Yeah, and they've moved on a bit now. They're a bit different.
Yeah.
But part of my job on operations and exercise, I worked within a 12-man troop. I was a troop sergeant, loader, operator on Challenger tanks, and then when we were out of camp, I had to account for everybody's personal weapon.
Yeah.
And that kind of transferred over to my new role.
Absolutely.
Although with a 30-year break in between.
So it's quite, like you say, it's like 30 years since you left the military, and obviously, using the Forces Employment Charity, it's, it kind of demonstrates the lifelong support that we can offer. So, would you use the charity again if it came to a situation where you were looking again? Would you use the support that we offer?
It would be my first port of call, really, because I know it's there. I'm more than happy where I am, but if I had to, it would be my first port of call.
And I guess, for other sort of veterans who have maybe been out of the military for some time and find themselves in a position where they're looking for work, what sort of advice would you give them, having been in that position?
First of all, register with the Forces Employment Charity, because, it's a perfect starting point. Kind of people speak your language. I would imagine a lot of people, or a lot of ex-military, are not aware of it. Some people just want to do it on their own, I think. But I couldn't have.
Yeah.
So that's where they need to start looking. And for support, it's second to none. There's somebody dedicated to helping me find a job, which I really wasn't expecting. I thought it'd be one person 1 week and somebody different 2 weeks later. Yeah. But I spoke to the same person time and time and time again, right through the process. And even when I was in employment, they were still calling, saying, how's it going? And et cetera, don't forget to do this, and which I had, I might add. It's got to be the first port of call.